So Max, do you know everybody in this room loves you apart from Kyle Guante Tranmaya, who is about to follow you. Who's like, how do you follow a 13-year-old genius? We will find out. Guante is a spoken word hip-hop artist. He's an educator. He is a writer. He's a social justice activist. He's going to do some hip-hop and spoken word at the UN. Guante, come up here for a second. He's like, oh, no. What's she going to ask me? What kind of venues do you normally play?
Colleges, theaters, clubs, not this.
How did you work out how inappropriate to be appropriate at the UN?
I don't know if I have. We'll see what happens.
All right. Guante, ladies and gentlemen.
The women in my life, and I should say, not just women, but women and gender nonconforming people in my life have taught me that when considering the role of men in the movement and the struggle for gender equity, I think what they've taught me is that it's less about how comfortable we are and how welcome we feel in that conversation, and more about how we take that conversation into spaces where we are traditionally comfortable, how we do that work in spaces to which we have disproportionate access, whether that be the barbershop, the locker room, the newsroom, the House of Parliament, whatever. And so that's kind of what this poem is about. There is a conversation that never happened. Not even a deleted scene, more like a storyboard, lost, an idea cut from the first draft. You are co-starring, slouched on the futon while we watch the game, telling me about your new girlfriend. Or more specifically, about all the things you're going to do to your new girlfriend. Action. And part of me still remembers my lines, even though I never said them. That conversation, I just couldn't start for fear of, I don't know, awkwardness or damaging our friendship, or maybe just because the commercials were over. That one tiny gesture that might not have changed anything but might have. I remember how I never put my drink down, never muted the TV, and never said, man, the way you talk about her, the way you treat her, your hands are getting too big for your heart. I can smell the future you on your breath. She isn't safe with you. And now it's 2 weeks later, and we're standing in my kitchen. That same silence between us. She didn't want to press charges, so you are a convict with sledgehammer hands and no boulders to break them on. And I am just remembering how we used to play football together. Numbers 55 and 56, both inside linebackers. I am remembering the dozens of conversations that never happened, the words oversleeping in the bed of my lungs. I am the least important person in this story, and part of me wants to believe that you wouldn't have listened anyway, that some evil spirit whispered itself into your skull. Part of me wants to believe that we didn't grow up 3 blocks from each other, that our eyes aren't the same color. Part of me is always repeating those lines, always reshooting that scene, always reminding myself that despite this guilt, I'm not a bad guy. You tell me that she never said no, that you're sorry, that you're not a bad guy. See, sexual violence, rape culture is silence. It is being able to see the future and not doing anything about it. It is believing the fairy tale platitude that there are good people and bad people, and that as long as you're not one of the bad people, your job is done, your conscience is clear. It is all of us swimming through the same polluted waters of beer commercials policing masculinity, and stand-up comedians making rape jokes to sound edgy, and media talking heads blaming the victim, and music turning women into objects, and language encouraging us to think of sex as violence. Bang, hit, smash. It is telling our daughters to dress sensibly and not walk alone at night, and telling our sons. It is a conversation that never happened. And this is not an excuse for you. It is a reminder for me that while her silence will always mean no, my silence, this silence between us, will always mean yes.